Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today I'm bringing you a Kickstarter video of not one, not two, but three different small box games, all from Draco Studios. We have Cosmic Cow Collectors, we have Neuro Riders, and we have Patsakoro. And each of these games plays oddly differently, but they all have a few outstanding features. Beautiful art, a matching box, of course, and they play 2 to 4 players in about 20 minutes. So hold your horses, catch your cows, let's journey through the mind of these games and see if we can collect them all. I want to start first with Cosmic Cow Collectors. Cosmic Cow Collectors is a bluffing and, well, point scoring / point racing game. It's a fairly simple, and probably out of the three is the lightest of the bunch, and personally, I think it's my favorite, although Neuro Riders certainly is up there, and Patsakoro for Shira is at the top of the list, so don't take our judgment as rote. And just so you know, this is a sponsored video from Draco Games Studios to their Kickstarter campaign. Like always, the link will be in the top of the video description, so swing over there and check it out. We'll also have 3 gameplays, one for each title we're talking about here, in case you want to take a closer look at any of these games. In Cosmic Cow Collectors, you're going to be trying to harvest cows. You're alien species trying to collect the most valuable resource that has ever existed in the world, which of course is cows, and you're going from planet to planet trying to get as many as you can. The first person to reach 120 cows triggers endgame. Whoever has the most cows at the end of the game will be the winner. So you're asking me, how do you actually collect cows? You're going to have a hand of cards. These cards are going to be planet cards. These planet cards have, well, a few different mechanics on them. First off, they're going to show you very clearly exactly how many are in the deck. Second off, they're going to show you how many cows you could harvest from that planet. And third off, they're going to be hidden to your opponent. You're going to have one of these planets face down. And on your turn, you're going to take one of 3 actions. You're either going to harvest cows, taking a range of cows anywhere from 8, which is the smallest planet, all the way up to 16, as long as that number falls within the purview of whatever the card you have face down is. So if I have a 14, I could take 8 to 14 cows, but if I take 14, I'm kind of playing my hand to my opponent, and they're going to be able to guess or challenge me or infiltrate me a little bit more efficiently. That's the second action you can take, which is to guess what your opponent has played and what cow card they have down on the ground. If you get it right, they lose 5 cows. If you get it wrong, you lose 3, and then it'll go into your storage container, which allows you to start actually generating and collecting more cows every single turn. And moving on down to your last action, that's going to be to draw up cards. Like I said, it's not an overly complex game, but the fun part, the thing that starts shining through when it comes to Cosmic Cow Collectors, is this ambient bluffing back and forth. It's the nature of having a card down on the table and knowing that you can take 15 cows, and then evaluating if your opponent would believe you, or just Hail Marying it and going for it because, well, they've already guessed 10, 12, 13, and 14, and you think, the next guess has to be 15, I might as well take as many cows as possible. It's a squabble of galactic proportions in an extremely small box. So if you like games that have a little bit of bluffing, and you want something that plays extremely smart in 15 to 20 minutes, Cosmic Cow Collectors may be a game you want to check out. But we should talk about Shira's favorite, which is Patsakoro. Patsakoro is, like I said, Shira's favorite from the set. She really likes those abstract puzzly games like Calico, Sagrada, games that give you some type of set collection or pattern in order to follow and build. I'm a little bit more chaotic and cow-brained, so of course Cosmic Cow Collectors is still at the forefront of my mind. The core functionality here of this worker placement set collection game has to deal with a rondel. You're going to be moving your meeple around this board, taking actions at each location you stop at, picking up cards, playing down cards, and building out your pyramid. The object of the game is to build the best set of scoring objectives. You'll have a few public-facing, open scoring objectives that we'll go through in a second, and you'll also be able to score based off the unique matching items you have in your pyramid. Your pyramid will consist of 4 cards on the bottom, 3 cards in the middle, and 2 cards at the top. The bottom row will score 1 point for 3 different types of items. So every skull, every candle, and every lollipop could be worth 1 point each. The second level will score 2 points for 2 different types of items. So potentially I want to do the spinning top and the picture frame, and then finally The very top section will score 3 points, but only for one item, so maybe I fill it up with wine bottles for the celebrations. Now, every single location here on the board will change from game to game and will randomize. Each one of these tiles is double-sided, so you never know exactly what you're playing, and the objectives that are public for everyone to go through also changes. Along with that, you're going to be playing and picking up cards from around this tableau. As you play the game, you'll have to decide what you call from your hand and what you put down into your pyramid for scoring. The end of the game will be triggered by someone getting to the top of their pyramid or by running out of this stack of cards if that happens in a higher player game. So, some of the iconography that we have here. Here you'll be able to play down any color card. You can see the colors across the top, take whatever is there, and go ahead and draw a card from the top of the deck. Here you can play down 2 colored cards, or you must play down 2 any colored cards, but you'll take whatever's there. So as the game's up and going, you might get 2 cards back in return and build a section on your pyramid. Here you have to play down a purple specific card, and you get to either draw a card or build a piece of your pyramid. Here you play down a card either to the right or the left, and then you go ahead and play down one of your matching cards as well. Here you can play either a red or a green, drawing up a card from the deck. Here your card has to have a set of 4 or a set of 3 different items. You can play it down, picking up what's there, and then finally this tile here is the starting tile where you're going to be able to progress and build your pyramid. 1 section in this area, and 2 sections down here in this one. Now, the secret objectives that you're going for, the public objectives that you're going for, are as follows. Every yellow card is minus 3 points. Now this changes from game to game. Your pyramid, if the bottom row has a flower, a green card, and a pink card, you'll score 4 points. If you have that and the middle row has 2 pink cards, you'll score 7. And if the top row has a green card, you'll score 12. You can collect these in any order. That means I can only do the top or only do the middle and bottom. And finally, we have 5 points for every grouping that you have of skulls, picture frames, and bunk cakes. Now these can be on any cards throughout your pyramid. So you're going to be playing the game. You're going to be moving your meeple around this rondel, landing in a location, playing a card down as kind of a trade to pick another card up, and then potentially down the road using these cards to build out a hyper big pyramid that hopefully will score you a ton of points. We've seen games hit the 70s and 80s when it comes to the point range by the end of the game, which feels very satisfying in a classic kind of point salad style way, except for the fact that I keep consistently losing, just like all the other abstract games that Shira loves. I think there's a reason she loves them. They just kind of work for her. So, if you enjoy rondel systems, if you like a unique, quick-playing set collection game, then this one might need your attention. And finally, let's go over to what I would argue is the most ambitious game of the bunch. Neuro Riders is a wild little abstract game that deals with you all interacting in a shared board space, scoring points and betting or banking on who you think is going to have the most memories restored to them by the end of the session. You see, you've now journeyed down into the minds of man, but the mind doesn't really like scientists exploring through it, and it's going to start crystallizing and closing off memories, destroying them as it goes. The object of the game is to, well, raise the stakes or raise the value of your preferable colors. For instance, here, I score 2 points for every point that green has, 1 point for every point that white has, and -1 for every memory that's restored in yellow. Now, the puzzle, the thing that gets really cool and really weird about how Neuro Riders works, is that you're going to be building out a shared grid, where the different colors are going to be attracted through doorways, and those doorways are going to be determining what is going to be scoring for them. For instance, if I place down this matching white doorway, and the white meeple moves through the white doorway, it'll go ahead and score 2 points. If the green meeple was in range and moved through this white doorway, the white character, because it's the white doorway, would score 1 additional point, moving it up to 10. You see, the nature of this game has nothing to do with the color of the cube or character you're moving, but instead the type of door they're journeying through. It creates this really crazy pattern system where you're trying to navigate and shift people through the doorways, trying to restore memories, and also trying to make sure that the colors that you want to be as high as possible happen to be moving up the ranks. But one of the ways that endgame is triggered is by getting one of the characters to 20 points. They immediately break, moving back down to 10 points, being cut in half, and the game is over. So you don't want the character, for instance in my case, green, to be too successful. Or maybe you do, if it was yellow, who I would rather not score a lot of points. Everyone around the table is going to be placing down tiles and shifting people according to what symbol is calling them. This tile has a whole set of doorways, and then we'll be calling pink and green. So if I played it down here, pink would move through the green door on its way to this room, giving green 1 point, and then move through the pink door, which is its own color, giving itself 2 more points. Green, because he's super far away, will not move this way. You need to be within a range of 2 in order to be attracted to every tile that's put down. Now, that seems fairly simple, but there's 2 other systems that get added in here. First off, this is going to be a draft. As you play the game, you'll be drawing up tiles into your hand, giving you a hand size of 2 tiles, and playing 1 down. So do you prepare for the future, grab something that's valuable right now to play, or just hold on to your britches and start screaming? Along with that, after everyone has finished playing tiles down and the draft set is exhausted, the game is not over. Instead, the mind is going to be able to close off memories and access points, crystallizing, or, in better words, flipping over into a horrific nightmare that dissolves memories and will destroy your meeples. If you get stuck in a nightmare zone, your own memories and thoughts are going to be able to crystallize as well, losing you points as the game progresses on. So, do you try to screw someone over by leaving them alone in the dark, or do you continue moving up the game, building pathways, chaining and sequencing your scoring objectives, and trying to restore as many memories as possible? This one has the potential for a lot of slow-paced critical thinking. It's a very, very interesting, connected game, and if you enjoy puzzles that involve everyone at the table solving it together, well, competitively solving it together, this is one that you probably get a lot of joy from. So how do these 3 games connect? Cosmic Cow Collectors, Petsakuro, and Neuro Riders. Well, I actually have an interesting theory. You see, Cosmic Cow Collectors is probably the most accessible, easiest playing game of the bunch. You can get it down to the table, play it in 15 minutes, and have fun with almost anyone who enjoys just a little bit of bluffing. It's not take that, it doesn't feel bad, but it's interesting and fun. And with this artwork, who's gonna say no? After that, you've only been hanging out for about 15 minutes, so it's super easy to pull over Petsakuro and say, listen, it's a little bit more thinky, but let me introduce you to this one. This is going to be a new style of game, a rondelle, a set collection, but they've already had such a good time with Cosmic Cow Collectors, they're going to be open to playing this. Why is that important? Because it'll work you up to Neuro Riders. They'll have a great time with Petsakuro. They might even want to play it a second time because you'll beat them the first time because you're just that good at board games. And then after that's done, you've played 3 whole rounds or 3 whole games, and it's only taking you about 45 minutes. You still have at least another 20 minutes to spend, hang out, talk, and play before they're tired of board games and want to move on to something else. So that's where Neuro Riders comes in. You have that little bit of a sci-fi space theme, so they're intrigued because Cosmic Cow Collectors was so darn fun. You have that take that element, which was introduced in Cosmic Cow Collectors, but not as much in Petsakuro. And finally, you have this abstract point scoring mentality where they are now thinking about how they want to manipulate the board in order to score as many points as possible. This is what I would call a perfect game night. That's right, Draco Studios has built and designed for you a set of 3 games that play in 15 to 20 minutes each for 2 to 4 players. You'll be able to play through the entire roster and double back and play again in anywhere around 60 to 90 minutes. So in the time it takes you to set up and begin teaching Terraforming Mars, you're already 5 games in. Your friends are now hardcore board gamers, and they're ready to journey through Petsakuro one more time, because I just can't beat Shira. I cannot beat Shira every time we play. One day I will, though. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Remember to swing down to that description, swing down to the Kickstarter, as always, linked in the top of the description down below. Let them know you saw the video. Let them know you're excited about one of these games, or all 3, and Leave a comment down below. Let me know which out of these three you're the most intrigued by. Whatever the case though, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing, get out and play some games. We'll see you next time.